Last week, we saw how Jesus calls the Holy Spirit our advocate. Today, I want to show you another title that Jesus gives God's Spirit. In the Gospels, which are the first 4 books of the New Testament, we see these biographies about Jesus, and we learn what he was like and how he interacted with people and some of the things he said. In John chapter 15, Jesus is in the middle of talking to his disciples, and Jesus tells them that people are going to hate him because they don't understand the truth about who he is, and that's going to trickle down to them. And then he says this in John chapter 15, verses 26 through 27. But I will send you the advocate, the Spirit of truth, and he will come to you from the Father and will testify all about me. And you must also testify about me because you have been with me from the beginning of my ministry. So Jesus here talks about God's Spirit being the Spirit of truth. Jesus said the Holy Spirit would testify or tell the truth about who he is. Then Jesus told his followers to do the same. And we see them doing this in Acts chapter 2. They go to Jerusalem after Jesus has been executed, raised from the dead, and ascended into heaven. And they're waiting for the promise of God's Spirit to show up in a powerful way like Jesus had told them to do. So they're sitting in the city of Jerusalem on a holiday called Pentecost. And God's Holy Spirit empowers Jesus' followers to communicate to the people in their native languages so they can each understand what they are talking about and they can understand the message, the truth about Jesus. A huge crowd gathers, and Peter tells them the truth about Jesus, who he really was, what his mission really was. And then the crowd was so moved that at the end of it, 3,000 people got baptized. The Spirit of truth showed up that day at Pentecost. The same Spirit that showed up then is actually at work in us today. We all face questions, confusions, conflicting messages about who God is and who we are. Jesus doesn't leave us alone to figure it out all on our own. The Holy Spirit shows us truth. So when you're asking yourself, what does it mean to be a follower of God? Well, one of the things you need to do is you need to listen to the Spirit of truth. So who can we turn to? We can turn to the Holy Spirit.